How to save money when you're having a new pool installed. When people come to you with the plans of the dream pool that they have, when you actually start to put a price to all of these things and you give it to them, you can just watch the excitement physically fade away as they realize this is not anywhere close to the budget they had in mind. And the problem with that is people kind of come to the table with the idea that this is a one-time thing and they want it to be perfect. And the basic pool itself is expensive. It's totally a luxury. And when you start adding all of these peripheral items and these want items to the list, it gets out of control really fast. Upgrades for swimming pools can be just really really expensive. And so this video here is just to kind of something that I would tell the average customer that's coming to me for a new pool installation, and we go over their want list, and then I give them a price and they're like, okay, we got to make some major changes here. What are those changes? The first change: water features. Who are you, Hugh Hefner? You don't need water features. They're expensive. They cost a lot to install. There's a lot of plumbing that gets buried for them. They break a lot because they're actually hard to build. And the guys that typically build them, these pool builders, they don't really specialize in waterfalls. They just kind of add one to the pool for you. They don't always get built right. They're super inefficient to run. They change the water chemistry. They add minerals to the water. There's staining issues. They're hard to winterize. There's a ton to consider for water features. For the most part, just take them off the list. It's really expensive. Like, I know you have this dream in your mind of, this water crashing or arcing into the pool and it's beautiful and you're having a party and all that. That is the 1% of the time. The 99% of the time, you're just sitting there looking at the pool thinking, wow, I love this thing, but man, it cost me a ton of money to run this. I got to use it and get all my value out of it. Water features is the first thing that can go. And what I say to people who really were in love with the idea of the water feature, unless you can just come up with double the money that you had intended to spend, you can make provisions now. You could run plumbing lines to a location where you intend to run a water feature in the future, or intend to build a water feature in the future. That's something that I recommend people do. But it kind of takes more than that. You kind of have to know your long-term plan to do it properly. A lot of water features are heavy, like a natural stone waterfall that you're going to build. That's going to weigh a lot, and you definitely need to have a lot of extra support built into that area in terms of like sonotubes to support a rock structure or a concrete structure. So you can make provisions for water features in the future if you just can't let go of the idea that you really wanted one. But realistically, if you're looking for a budget pool installation, the first thing that you need to cut are any kind of water features that you have installed or have planned to install on the pool. Now, the next thing that you want to remove from your list when you're talking about budget pools, anything that you can add at a later point. There are some things that need to be built integral into the pool as part of the pool building process. There are some things that can be added later. If you could add it a year from now or 3 or 5 years from now when you can free up a little bit more budget, why not take that option? Like, let's talk about salt water. That's a thing that people want. It's actually not super expensive to get salt, but when we're nickel and diming the price down on a new pool installation, salt water you could add in the future. You don't need to add it now. And you know what? A lot of builders these days are leaning away from salt water because there's a long conversation that you need to have, and there are some potential downsides with saltwater chlorine. And as a result, maybe you just want to think about not adding it now. Put that money back in your pocket, reallocate that to something more important. And if you really have your heart set on something like that, you can add it in the future. And the same goes for any of the peripheral items like a germicidal UV light or something like that. So anything that can come out of the budget now and you can add it at a later point, go for that. Then you can really cut down on the upfront costs that you're going to be spending here. So when I talk about upfront costs, the next thing that I usually talk about are safety considerations. And when I say safety considerations, pretty much I'm talking about three things: slides, diving boards, and the deck around your swimming pool. So slides and diving boards, here's the reality. They are dangerous elements on a swimming pool. They are responsible for the majority of injuries on swimming pools. And so if you're looking for a way that you can save money, maybe this is worth looking at, because when you look at the cost to install a fancy new slide or a fancy new diving board, it's a ton of money. It's way more than most people were ready to spend, even though they had their heart set on it. And so I tell people, look, we're not meeting your budget considerations here. We have to cut something. These are the most dangerous elements. And here's the reality. They're a lot of fun. Like some families are really into it. They use their slide for 20 years. They use their diving board for 20 years. Most people do not. They have it and use it for a couple years at best, and then it just largely sits dormant, just looking like an eyesore for the rest of the time. And so I say, if you're going to need to cut somewhere in this pool installation design, cut things that can be dangerous and can cost a lot of money and can sometimes, kind of have like a novelty wears off effect. When the kids are young, they use the slide all the time. It's not that exciting once you're a teenager or an adult anymore. And so they largely don't get used until, drunk Uncle Bob decides he's going to do something really hilarious on the slide and he ends up falling off of it and getting hurt. And that's no fun for the party at all. So if there's a safety element you can remove, go ahead and remove it and save that money. Now, the last point that I'll talk about when I'm trying to design a cost-effective swimming pool, choose a rectangle pool. There's a lot of reasons why a rectangle pool might be a good choice for you. Number one, it has the maximum swimming and playing area. That's one of the reasons I like it. When you get into the really fancy shapes and stuff, you kind of ruin it for the people who like to swim laps, and it's harder to play volleyball in a crescent or a bean-shaped pool, so a rectangle makes a lot of sense from a functional usage perspective. But there's also the consideration that, let's say you want to get a cover for your pool, like a safety cover. Those are really popular these days for pools that need to close and winterize. And safety covers, I mean, for a custom shape, which is anything essentially other than a circle or a rectangle, you're going to be $2,000 or $3,000 for a safety cover. For a rectangle pool, that same safety cover could cost half that amount of money because it's an off-the-shelf product. It's not a custom shape that you have to custom measure and custom make like most swimming pools are. So if you go with a rectangle, then you're kind of able to get off-the-shelf covers, whether it be a tarp or whether it be a safety cover. And, that makes a big difference in terms of the cost for some of these little items that are adding up for you. And you can also maximize your swimming and playing area by going with a rectangle. And pretty much a rectangle you could fit into any modern day design or installation. So it's definitely something that is kind of universally acceptable from a design perspective. And so when I'm looking to reduce costs on a new pool build, those are all the things that I'm looking at and that I'm hoping you're going to consider cutting from the budget so that we can focus on the important things, which are building you a good structure, building you a pool that's going to last. We can add these fancy peripheral items at a future point if we can free up some more budget for it. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.